Hi, welcome to Behind the Badge. I'm Chief Alan Rodbell of the Scottsdale Police Department, and with me is my co-host, Ms. Chris Fasal.
Hello, everybody. How are you this month?
Happy New Year. Right?
Happy New Year.
Everybody.
Yay.
So how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yep.
Anything going on?
Can't believe it's January already.
It's almost over. It's
I
probably
know,
This is
it's-
probably February's program.
Yes, it is. That's true.
That's how we keep these. Just kick the
You
whole
just
year
gave our-
away.
you just gave our
February,
secrets
yeah,
away.
Honest to goodness, wow. So anyways, I said Happy New Year only because to me, I say Happy New Year in February. It really confuses people.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
At least I'm writing 2020.
Yeah, I haven't
I
messed
haven't
that
had
up.
any problems this year.
So having said all that, we had a relatively quiet holiday season.
We
into the
did.
new year.
Yeah, it was cold
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it was cold. It was
Horrible.
remind me of being back east.
I felt bad for all those people back east that came here to get warm, and they did not get warm.
Yeah, but it's warming up now.
Yes, it is.
We
It's
had
beautiful
a
out.
very successful Barrett Jackson.
Yes,
which,
a lot.
yeah, which was great.
Yeah.
People are coming in, and then we have, of course, another big event coming up, which we're going to talk about in a moment, and then some other events behind that. And before you know it, it's the summer. And before you know it, we're talking about Christmas again.
I know.
That's the way it works.
It's crazy.
It
Kids
is.
out of school, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But things are good.
Okay, so what do we have lined up? We have a Citizens Academy coming up.
March.
Okay.
March 5th through April 23rd, 8 consecutive Thursday evenings from 6 to 9. I actually have a few openings, so
Good.
if you're watching this, call me and I'll give you the information to how to apply.
Okay, sounds good. And it fills up quickly, so if you're thinking about
Yeah,
it, please do.
I may only have a couple spots, so.
Good. Okay,
Yep.
sounds great. Well, so I guess we should talk about the Waste Management Open, which is a phenomenal.
Televised. Isn't it international? I guess
I-
we'll find
yeah,
that
It's
out.
the largest
Yeah.
spectator, I think, event on the PGA circuit.
Yeah, it's
And-
crazy.
and-
Everybody wants to come to Scottsdale when they see this beautiful course and the beautiful weather.
Right.
So, and it's supposed to be really beautiful that week.
Yes, that's the
Good
great
weather, because sometimes weve had it when it's been pretty bad,
Yeah.
rainy, but
It can
it's
be
supposed to be
unpredictable.
beautiful.
News. Yeah. So again, it's a huge event for us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't start planning for it like today. It's almost a year in the making in terms of our planning, and we always learn something from our most recent event, that things we can do to improve, whether it's
Yes.
pedestrian and traffic flow, safety, convenience for the golfers and the spectators.
Correct.
There's a lot that goes into this, many moving parts.
It is.
We have lots of partnerships and support on this, and we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, it's great.
So-
So you could introduce our
So
guests
we
today.
have three guests today. Welcome, all three of you. You represent
Thank you.
three different parts of this puzzle, and there are probably many people behind you in terms of not just within the departments and the agencies and the groups that you represent, but also other federal agencies.
Oh my goodness,
the
there's
PGA.
so many people.
I could go on and on.
Yep.
But thank you guys for being here. We're going to focus
Thanks
a little
for
bit
having
about
us.
our partnership with the Thunderbirds and the support we get between police and fire and cooperation that goes between the public service agencies here in Scottsdale. And we can't do it alone. We're going to talk about the fact that we rely on so many resources outside of our jurisdiction that give us assistance and support
Correct.
in this event. So it's a big deal. And I think I'd like to start off with you, Mike, if you don't mind,
Sure,
Mike
no
Bianco
problem.
from the Thunderbirds, to kind of like bring all this together.
Absolutely.
Because the organization that you represent today, and you have a specific role in this event,
Correct.
but the organization you represent today has been so phenomenal in our community in terms of helping raise funds for charities and just managing and putting on this huge event.
One of many.
Yeah,
One of
One of
one of
many,
but
many
cer-
events
yeah.
at the Thunderbirds.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is our big one, though.
But this is the big one.
For
This,
sure.
this is huge, and this generates so much support for our community and the folks in need in our community. So I want to make sure everybody's very clear on the fact that this isn't just a golf tournament
Sure.
where people come and enjoy golf. There's actually some wonderful benefit to everyone in our community as well.
It trickles down.
Yeah,
so
it
let's
sure
talk about
does.
the Thunderbirds a little bit, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
so the Thunderbirds have been around since 1937. There are 55 active members at any given time, and our job is to promote the city of Phoenix through sports. So, we do many events, several golf tournaments, Special Olympics, but our sort of biggest revenue generator is, of course, the Waste Management Phoenix Open. And just to give you an idea, a lot of people think it's just a golf tournament or just a big party, but all those sales of all those tickets and beers and things like that really add up. Last year, we were able to give $12 million to local charities,
That's amazing.
and we're hoping to beat it this year. So
That's
amazing.
we've done that or slightly less than that, the last several years. So it's it's in the hundreds of millions that we've given back to the Valley, and it's really just a good feeling.
Well, I will tell you, and I, as long as I've been here, and I've been here 18 years now, as long as I've been here, we've always hosted the Open at the TPC in Scottsdale. And prior to that, I believe, and maybe a few years prior to that, you were in the city of Phoenix at
Yeah.
one time. But as far as I know, you've always been here and always done an amazing job. And so it's been a wonderful partnership to all those years. You yourself, a member of the Thunderbirds.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. So just like every other member of the Thunderbirds, we're volunteers. This isn't our day job. Most of us have businesses we own. In my case, I'm CEO of an aircraft parts distribution company based out of Chandler. It's called Avair. We are supplying parts to airlines all over the world. We're currently serving over 2,400 unique customers in 118 different countries.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
so it's
That's cool.
it's a pretty cool deal, and it's but it's always great to be able to break out and use some of what you know from the business world to apply to your job in the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So in terms of your role in this year's event, you
Sure.
are the
So I'm the 2020 security chairman.
okay.
And the way our organization works is you never have a job for longer than 2 years, and that kind of keeps things fresh, keeps the ideas fresh. A lot of the creativity you see on the venues is because there's a new person in the seat next year, and they want to do something bigger and better. So yeah, it's you kind of just start getting used to something, and then you have to pass it on. Last year I was assistant security chairman, so I got to work with Scottsdale Police and all of the other partners and just really see everybody in action and just how organized it was. And yeah, I mean, getting that behind the scenes look really just gives you a feeling of safety.
Yeah, and security is such a big responsibility, Mike. I mean,
Sure.
that's, I think, on everybody's mind as always. So we thank you for stepping up
Yeah,
to that
of course.
role, because it is a big task, as our officers and our fire personnel will explain, and of course our federal partners. There's so many moving parts to the whole. It goes so easy, but that just means there's been a lot of planning and a lot of
Oh, yeah.
man hours to make sure it just all goes nice and smooth.
Right. And there's a coordinated effort, and we're going to go on and talk a bit more about this later, but it's a coordinated effort in security. It's not just the police department's responsibility.
Correct.
Right.
We've got Pro-Am out there and other folks out there
City employees.
that are partners in that role. And
Traffic.
we'll talk about that in detail.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also with us is Battalion Chief Adam Hoster. And Adam, I don't know what your role is normally, so a little bit about who you are and the fire department and a little bit about your career. I think folks home would like to hear about it.
Yeah, for sure. I actually started in the fire department back in '94, so that's when I got picked up full time back with Rural Metro, and transitioned over. I actually grew up in South Scottsdale, so went to all local schools here in Scottsdale, and then what really got me interested in the fire department was where we lived. We had a trash or a debris fire in the alleyway, and I saw one of the fire engines come down to put it out, and I just said, "I look pretty
That's
cool."
what I want to do.
That's what I wanted to do. Almost.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
You were early
I was
age.
at a young
Pretty
age.
Cool. Yeah.
That's really neat.
And I just went through the ranks, and here I am today. Now. So my current role, I'm actually a deputy chief in our headquarters.
Sorry.
No,
Okay.
it's fine. And so I run basically all admin services, basically resource management for the fire department now.
Super.
And your role now with the Waste Management Open is?
So my role now for the Waste Management Open is planning section. So basically, I was boots on the ground when I first started. So I was on the bike teams out there at the Waste Management Open serving, and I just kind of rose through the ranks to operations chief to planning. So as like Mike said, we kind of work under that same philosophy. We don't really hold a role more than 2 to 3 years, so we kind of build our succession plan up. So basically from planning, next comes incident command. So.
Okay.
And I guess maybe, excuse me, Chief,
Yeah.
I guess maybe a lot of people don't realize the resources and the equipment and just like things that are needed by the employees and the Thunderbirds and the PGA. There's just, and then the news media. I mean, there's a lot of that encompasses that.
Exactly. So we start planning in late summer, for the next round for the waste management, and it's as we all know, the population of this and the popularity of this event is just continues to grow, and so we manage that to. It's basically what we call the city within the city.
Absolutely.
For those 6 or 7 days we're out there, it's a lot. So, and we're continuing to grow as the event grows. So we have to increase our staffing levels and make sure we provide a safe environment for all the patrons or are avid golf fans.
Exactly.
Let's just put this in perspective for a moment, and I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but not on television, but the numbers were like 600,000 visitors during that week, for this golf tournament. Our population's 235, 240, so it's like 3 times the population shows up in this city to attend this event.
Yeah.
And on Saturday of the event, I think the estimations are you have the entire population of the city on a piece of property the size of a golf tournament.
Exactly.
And to just move that mass of humanity, to feed it, to entertain it, and to make sure it's safe is just incredible. And you have to plan for that, as you say, way in advance, based on prior experiences, but knowing things continue to seem to be evolving and growing. This is a big deal.
It is.
And people just don't realize it. They don't realize that large number of people that are actually coming to attend. And so it's pretty impressive. So Adam, just tell us a little bit about the planning function in terms of who you're bringing to the table that are not represented in this room.
So in the planning function for us, for fire department wise, we are incorporating pretty much all of our off-duty folks. So basically like our boots on the ground. So we provide all the medical standby and fire suppression for this event. It's growing to where we're taxing our members a little bit, just to, hey, we need you to work those off-duty events. We haven't had to reach outside to other agencies to help us staff, but we've been able to staff this event fully. Like on a Saturday, we'll have a lot of firefighters out there working that event. So, along with the incident command folks, we, as in planning or planning sections chief, organizing and scheduling that with our PD partners. We've adapted this unified command approach where both police and fire sit in the same building. So we manage this whole scene. Security, the police handles the security and other events on that, and we handle all, obviously, medical protection or fire suppression on that. So having the unified command approach is really beneficial for us because we're all in the same room. So we can interact quickly and mitigate these scenes quickly and appropriately.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, literally you respond to illness, dehydration,
Correct.
Yes,
falls
depending
and
on the weather,
injuries,
cold.
whatever you're responding to, you're responding.
Yep.
You've got I won't say makeshift, but it's a golf cart that
it is.
the Thunderbirds have donated graciously
Yes.
to the department that you can literally stretch your people out. And you've also got locations around the field where you
Yep.
can take them for triage or treatment if necessary in an emergency.
we strategically locate our teams, our medical teams. So we have basically a walking team, which is a 2-person crew that kind of evaluates and handles their little geographic area of the event. They carry all the same equipment as basically what our fire engines do, except in a condensed version. So
Right.
they can treat just like how we can, just as a fire engine pulling up. So then we have a medical cart team, as you told, and the Thunderbirds graciously donated another cart. So this is the second one they've donated to us, and it's
That's
awesome.
amazing, and that does really help.
It
And
does.
as being on the PD for 37 years, I've worked very closely with fire and on accidents and stuff when I was on the street. And I think a lot of people have misconceptions about police and fire not getting along, but Scottsdale and the fire and department and the PD are
That's for
like
sure.
really total brothers, and
For sure.
we've always had each other's back, and it's amazing. It's an amazing partnership from my perspective, and I'm sure LT you're agreeing as well. So.
So, Lieutenant, we'll get. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Lieutenant Chris Coffey, who currently is assigned to our training section.
Yes.
But again, as a training section lieutenant, we were using you to support a different function at the Open, and I know you've had experience there. So, if you would mind telling the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. So I've been with the department for 20 years, a little over 20 years, and have risen through the ranks. I was the K-9 handler for 10 years, running the explosive detection dog. So I was out at the Open for 10 years, and then I got moved into the security branch position, which is what I do now. So, and then I'm in charge of all the security on the course, making sure that
Small task.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite Citizens Academy presenters who
Yes.
has left me now because he became a lieutenant, but
Don't
loved
encourage
having him come to Citizens
Still love
Academy.
Citizens Academy.
He comes still.
Yes. So, and then the unified command that Adam was talking about is amazing. And so throughout the year, we do tabletop exercises where we run scenarios and work with fire and other valley agencies and partners, Pro-Am, and to make sure that it runs smooth and everybody knows what their job is and what everybody else's job is. So.
And this is just a small part. We're talking about safety and security here, first response here. This is just a small component
Yes.
of all that takes place there in terms of the resources that police and fire and other city government officials provide. There's traffic, dispatch.
Yes.
I mean, we have an entire dispatch center right there for this event. So
many city employees that are involved in it within other departments within the city that we could not do this without them.
Volunteers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And it is all hands on deck for us as well. So.
And to that point, we have had to reach out, because Adam, you talk about
Yes.
it being strapped. We've had to reach out to be able to do the business of first response for the city and the other things that we have to do. We have had to reach out. We also, no one can have leave during this week in the police department unless there's some family emergency. And so we're all working the entire week.
Everybody.
But we still...
Even the secretaries and stuff, all of us are working.
Yeah.
We're back there. We got them. We got their back.
Thanks for being there. So anyway, the point is, there's actually a point. The point is that we actually are relying on other cities to help us do the things that we need to have help doing, including run the after hours event. We haven't even talked about what happens after hours, which we have some responsibility for. And so we literally have relied on other agencies. So who are our partners outside of the city limits?
So we rely on DPS to come help with security around the course. We have a lot of canine support from Tempe, DPS, Chandler.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, MCSO.
Yeah.
So we rely a lot on the partnership, which is, we have such a great partnership with the Valley agencies, and that's what makes this event run so well, is the partnerships with our federal partners and Valley partners.
Yeah, it's all in. And again, I think part of it is because this has been such a successful event through the years, and so many people come to see this and be part of this event. It just means that we just need to make sure we continue to have the ability to bring in the support system. So we've made it bigger and bigger ourselves in terms of our support to make sure that this is a very, very safe, fun event for people to enjoy. And literally, we have very few incidents. I mean, we've had, we have streakers on occasion that for whatever reason decide it's a good time to run naked through a crowd. But for the most part, it's been nationally. But it's been incredibly a safe.
And the thing is all this influx of people not only affects our city as Scottsdale, it does affect Chandler and Tempe and DPS, because they're on the roads, they're getting to the event. So that influx of people that have come in from all over the world, because there's a lot of really cool planes that come in during this time, since Barrett Jackson buying those cars and this. So it's just such a cool event. It really is.
It's a great time for the city. So talking about the Bird's Nest, and you have some responsibilities there as well?
I do not, but the Bird's Nest is our concert venue that goes on right when the open closes each night. We've got some major acts out there.
Really? Do you know who's coming this?
So we've got Miranda Lambert.
Oh, cool.
We've got G-Eazy, who's a hip-hop star out of Oakland. Then we've got Dierks Bentley. And then Saturday night finishing off, we have our EDM night, which is Kygo, who's a really huge DJ.
Now do you feel old?
Yeah.
Because two of those four, you have no idea who he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, come out and check it out. Be my guest.
Okay,
yeah,
I will.
please.
Two of the four is like, okay. But I will tell you that Dierks Bentley, who grew up in this area, I understand.
Yeah.
And
he's
his
a great
dad,
supporter
and
of
his
the
dad was a Thunderbird at one time, right? I believe.
You know, that's dating me, so I'm not sure. I'd have to confirm that. You could be right.
I actually thought that was true. I
might
could be
be true.
wrong. Again, don't correct me on the air.
But he's definitely very supportive of our.
He's very supportive, and he's been a repeat
Awesome.
offender. He's been here, so
Absolutely.
you know he has a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Which is great. And congratulations to that, because in the 17, 18 years I've been here, the acts have really,
Yeah, I remember.
not I won't say improved,
Duck
but
Soup
more
was a
recognizable
big one.
names.
Yeah.
Duck Soup was a big one.
Our staff in our team that's from the Thunderbirds that are on the Bird's Nest like detail. They're one upping each other every year.
Yeah,
that's
that
cool.
is a game you guys play, but it's to everybody's advantage.
Yeah. Oh, it
So
totally
let's
is.
talk about traffic flow and pedestrian traffic, because I know it changes every year. The good news is, because of those those are opportunities for people to, perhaps make a bad decision.
Sure.
We're seeing an increase in people making the right decision.
Yeah.
You're taking advantage of the kinds of opportunities for people to get rides home through rideshare programs and what other ways to find a way home safely. And I know you've been big partners in providing that opportunity. So I know traffic flow changes as crowds increase and parking lots change for us. There's a change this year. Is there can we give some idea to the public about the safest way, easiest way to get in, or is that still working on those
Sure, I
plans?
can give you a little bit, and I think Chris probably knows more than I do as far as the traffic side goes. But we have relocated the Uber and Lyft lots to Westworld. Now we're going to be using a bus system to get all of our
That's great.
patrons in. It's kind of the Disneyland model, and it cuts down on a ton of congestion, and we think it's a lot safer as well for screening all the guests as they come in. So I think the public, they might complain a little bit because it's an extra 10 or 12 minutes from the Uber lot, but really at the end of the day, it's really going to save a lot of time and
lives.
Yeah, and lives.
Good.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the biggest change is that all ride shares moved to Westworld, and that's going to be extremely convenient. I know in years past, some confusion about exactly where Lyft or Uber was, but now it's all centrally located at Westworld. And with the shuttles,
Yep.
I think it's going to be very good this year. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
I do want to encourage anyone that's watching that really make a plan ahead of time.
Yes.
People don't do really well when they make plans in a different mindset. So plan ahead of time, have a plan, follow the plan, and at the same time, I expect we'll have our detail out there. We oftentimes have the Know Your Limits detail.
Yep, we're going to have that again this year, right at the front entrance.
Okay.
And that's a phenomenal program. So to educate people on DUIs and limits and not to do it.
Right.
So.
And this is the opportunity, and officers in a non-threatening way are approaching
Correct.
people and saying, have you had something to drink today? Where do you think you're capable of driving? Would you like to just have a fun test? We don't
Yeah.
charge them for this.
Right.
Right.
We
It's
did-
fun to watch.
Yeah, fun to watch. They
And
breathe
they're
in the
very
machine,
surprised
and they
sometimes.
oftentimes
Yeah.
very
Like,
surprised.
oh my gosh, I blew that much,
Yeah.
and it's
Well,
like
you hear
Right.
people say, I'm good.
Yeah.
I've been out here, several hours, but I've had, lots of time in between. It's like, well, here, take a look. Let's see what happens. And a lot of times they're surprised.
Yeah.
And then we sort of encourage them to find a different way home and come back and get your car later when you're feeling better. And quite frankly, I'm encouraged by the fact that we've actually seen DUI arrests kind of go down for the first time in my whole
It's only
career
for your benefit.
because
Yeah.
folks are starting to make the right choices. And so we
Exactly.
encourage that, and we assist them in encouraging that. So that's great news.
It's just too easy to take an Uber or a Lyft now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 10 years ago, getting a cab
cab
or
is
something
ridiculous. Trying to get
would
them
be
in
crazy.
and out of there on top
yeah,
of
but
it,
now there's no
that's- yeah.
excuse. There's
Yeah.
just no reason to be driving.
And information is power, and I just think that people need to just follow signs.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing. Like they're
Right.
all on the freeway, this parking pass, that parking pass. If you do that, you'll get in really easy and you'll get out really easy. And if you follow officers' instructions, that's the easiest way to make it happy for everybody.
So what advice do you have for the
I
folks
would-
at
I
home
would
that may be
just tell
coming?
people to come and have a great time. Hydrate. I think the weather is going to be beautiful. So hydrate. Have patience because the line's coming in. Parking. Just have some patience. And
Are
then-
there some policies at the gate regarding clear plastic bags or
Yes.
bringing stuff
Yep.
in?
Yeah, there sure are. The dimensions, everything is posted online, but you can have, if you're a female and carrying a bag, you can have a small purse with you that's see-through, or if it's within a certain measurement, it doesn't have to be transparent.
Okay.
But yeah, no big bags, and there's no place to put them. So if you bring a big bag with you, you're gonna have to walk back to your car, and that's going to be a
backpack,
hassle.
anything,
Yeah.
right.
So you don't have the lockers this year that you had last
There
year?
are some mobile lockers, but it's very limited, so we try not to even put it out there because I think there's maybe.
I just did.
Well, yeah. So there's maybe 40 or so of them. I mean, so once those are full, people complain, and but
yeah.
yeah, it's just come out there with the minimum.
Sounds great. I want to take a moment and thank you on behalf of the PD and a little bit on behalf of the fire department and to you and to the members of the Thunderbird and leadership of the Thunderbird of this event. You guys, the recent donation of the 2 vehicles, one supplementing the 1 vehicle that you received in the past with another vehicle, gives you twice the opportunity to be able to deal with some of the issues in a large venue where there is a crowd and you got to get through the crowd. Has been tremendous. And then you also provide us with a vehicle that will allow us to deploy people and actually get people out if we have to get people
Absolutely.
out. Could be an emergency, and could be that we want to remove them, and it's not always removal, but at least getting people out quickly that we need to have to the gate and to get us in quickly. And so I just want to take a moment and thank you for that. That was very good, a very wonderful kindness
It's
on
our
your
pleasure.
part.
We really enjoy the partnership
And we've already used it. We used it at the Barrett Jackson, so it's
I saw
not
it in
just for
action.
this event.
Yeah, it looks
and
cool.
It looks
It
cool.
does.
Yeah.
It does look
Yeah.
cool.
It was not
Are
ready
you guys
when.
going to keep the Thunderbird logo on it?
That's my intention.
All right, good, perfect.
Unless you want me to take it off?
No, of course not.
No, of course not. No, I don't know if there's that controversy or not.
No,
Not with
not
me,
at all. I
certainly.
like it.
What we haven't done is I need to set up is a formal thank you and a photograph, because it wasn't ready yet when you presented to the council. So anybody that may have watched the council meeting would have seen maybe perhaps a little bit of a blurb on that. And there was a fire department vehicle there. Ours was not ready yet, so we need to catch up on that.
Sure.
But I didn't want to let this go by without telling you how much we appreciate your kindness.
Thank you very much.
And we
appreciate it.
quite frankly love our relationship. You guys are really good to the employees, the city employees that are working in this venue, as well as the other folks that support us in this program. And I think that's what makes this work so well.
Agreed.
Year after year, I think our relationship has a great relationship. It has a hard time getting better.
Yeah.
But just the relationship we have continues to just again, make the adjustments necessary to make this as smooth as it possibly can
Absolutely.
be. Huge mass of humanity going through a gate,
Yep.
onto a golf course, having a great time, and getting home safely.
Well, together we'll keep them all safe.
Yep.
So I do want to thank you guys. You guys, I guess you need to get back to work. It hasn't started yet.
Better rest a lot because you're going to need to be resting. Put on
Yeah.
comfortable shoes.
In fact, we actually bought some new shoes for the officers that are working this,
Yeah,
because
it's
they're
hard
walking
to
the
be,
field now.
It's
great.
very hard
Yeah.
to be on your feet, like 10, 12, 14 hours sometimes, directing traffic and stuff. I did that.
And well, pro golfers don't get in a cart.
Yeah.
And so it's a walking day.
It
Well,
is
some
a
of our guests
walking
are in
thing.
high heels all day too, which
Yeah,
is just
right.
Yes,
amazing.
it is amazing.
Hopefully not the
sometimes.
officers, but there are some guests that do dress that way. Yes, absolutely. So I want to wish the best this year. I'm going to see you out there for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely, please.
Anybody that's out there, please come out, enjoy this. This is a phenomenal experience for folks that we live here. Sometimes we take things for granted.
Sure.
People in Arizona sometimes haven't even seen the Grand Canyon yet, so we just figure I'll be there next year. I'll go next year. But just to see this this operation and to enjoy this day is just phenomenal. And so you bring top-notch talent in. So it is a competitive golf tournament.
Absolutely.
But it's also the greatest party on grass, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
There's no denying that.
That's
Yeah.
a, that's a
And the
cool
greenest.
slogan.
And the green. And I want to make the
greenest,
plug.
yeah.
We need to make the plug. Is it 100% of,
Oh, yeah.
of everything that's created there is recycled?
Oh yeah, recycled,
Which is-
composted. Yeah.
That is
Waste management. I
amazing.
mean, they're an amazing partner.
that is
And
phenomenal.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine this tournament, having a different sponsor. I mean, this is the whole, green initiative. It's just it's awesome.
It's phenomenal.
Climate
Yeah.
change.
Huge success story. So thank you
Yes.
all for being our
Thanks,
guests.
you guys.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the course.
Yes.
And folks, we'll see you next month. Thanks so much for tuning in to Behind the Badge. Take care. Be safe. Bye now.